right, so here we go. So today what we're gonna do is this. We are going to work on FOIL again, but I'm gonna show you different methods of doing the same thing, which is multiplying binomials with binomials. Okay, and there are two things. One is called a box method, and then afterwards I have some what I don't know personal tips that I can give you for solving those in your head, so you don't have to write it down. But okay, we'll see. Let's start. Okay, all right, here we go. Now, this is where we left off yesterday, right? With the FOIL method, where we do the first, outside, inside, last. Okay, so today I wanna give you a couple of alternative ways to solve these, okay, and see which one you're most adept at using. Okay. Now, the first one is called a box method. Okay. Now, I gotta tell you, like, when I see this, it's reminiscent of the lattice method, all right, that people use in grade schools, and sometimes I don't know why. The only thing I would say is I don't know why putting something in a box would somehow like automatically make it easier to solve. Okay, so I guess I'm old school that way. Now, that said, right? So how do we use the box method? So let's say let's use this as an example. So here, let's say we got x plus 3 times x plus 6, right? And like yesterday, you would have used the FOIL method. So if you use the FOIL method, let's solve it like that first, okay? So that's x squared. First, outside, inside, and then last, right? Combine like terms. And then you got that, right? So let's see if our answer matches this one. So what the box method does is it takes the, how do I say it? It forms a matrix, actually, all right? What's the matrix being used here? It's on the top here, we use the first binomial. So you can see let me use a highlighter. Here you can see the x here plus 3 here, right? And then on the other hand, you have x down here and then 6 over here. So that's the setup, okay? And now the only thing I would critique is that, like, here you would have to really write plus 3, because you want to keep track of the sign of the numbers. Like, that's important. So here, same thing, plus 6, just to kind of like keep things moving that way. Now, here, this method is basically, I can see the merits of this method. I don't think it will move the needle so much that like you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe, you didn't teach me this first. So now here in other words, what this method does is it forces you to fill out all 4 boxes. All right. And I suppose that whoever invented this wanted to make sure that the students cover all their grounds, right? Covering first, outside, inside, last, right? With boxes. So anyways, x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x, so plus 3x, right? X times 6 is positive 6x, and then 6 times 3 is positive 18. And then if you combine these two like terms, that's plus 9x plus 18. Same answer, okay? Now, I'm gonna leave it here. So if you want to try these 3 questions using the box method, is entirely up to you, okay? Because the reason why is because we actually solved these questions yesterday, okay? Now, how do you check your answers? All right, so if you want to, press pause right now and do these 3 questions, okay? And then once we're done, I'll show you the answers from yesterday, okay? So press pause right now. Okay, all right, so now that you're back, these are the 3 answers, okay? So it was this one. Hold on, let me use something that stands out a little more. I don't know. All right, hold on, so it's frozen. All right, okay. It was this one. What was the other one? X plus 3, x plus 4, right? Yeah, right here. The next one and the last one. All right, these were the answers, okay? Now, the second, all right, maybe I should give you a little more time, but you should press pause and check the answers, okay? All right, now, moving on. So here's what I think, you know, given given your abilities, that I think you will find what I'm about to show you actually more helpful. Okay? So I'm gonna walk through to you. I'm gonna talk a lot because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you everything that's going on, all right, when I solve this, all right, in my head. So listen carefully and watch. Listen carefully to the process that I'm kind of talking through with you, and then watch what I'm writing. Okay? Now, first of all, when you see these questions, most of the time, if you do first, all the choices are gonna be x squared, except for this one. So you can eliminate it right away. All right? Almost always gonna be x squared. If you got x and x, right, that's your only choice. So that's the number one thing to do. The second thing you have to do, if I were you, all right, I would look at the last. Because 6 times 6 is 36, so I can start eliminating. Now, whoever wrote this question, you know, did a good job of writing the question, because right now the first two tips I've given you did not eliminate any more questions, right? So x times x, x squared, all 3 choices here, A, B, and C, have x squared. 6 times 6 is 36, all 3 choices have that. So now you're gonna start like doing this game where here's what you should do, okay? You should look at, let me switch colors. You should look at it like this then, once you get to that point. You should look at what should happen on the inside term. All right, and most of the time, and this, by the way, this works extremely well with multiple choice. Okay, really, especially multiple choice. Now, here, I gotta think to myself, right? I know that if this were a 6, then the term is gonna be 6x. Like, why look inside, right? And if this were a 6, then I know that that's another 6x. So by adding these two, I know that I got 12x, okay? So hold on, the lights just went off. Also, the bell's gonna ring. The bell's gonna ring any moment now, okay? Just so you know. Right? So and then so now you gotta go down the list and just say, hey, which one is actually 12x? That's this one. Okay? That's it. All right? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, well, at least this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't think I helped a lot with that example. So let me show you a few more examples then. Okay? And if you want to try one of these on your own, then, you know, be my guest. All right. Now, let's take a look at this one then. So here we got, now, here this is a slightly reversal of the original question, because the original question wants you to do FOIL and then pick an answer, right? Whereas these, now, I give you the answer and you have to go through the choices to find a question. So this is, in this particular format, you will find what I'm about to show you extremely helpful, okay? Because it's gonna help you, even if, how do I say it? Even if you did this first in your head and you want to check your answer, you can always go back to the FOIL method to check your answer. But, you know, just to get you through this, right? Let's see. Okay, now, I'm looking, as soon as I looked at this question, I looked at all 4 choices. And where was I looking? Let me use color code. All right, I'm looking at this. D times D, D times D, D times D, D times D. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, that's not gonna change anything. So I'm not even gonna look at it anymore. Now, the second thing I look at, so here, oops, that's not, all right. Here, I know that there's no need to look at it anymore because the choices that didn't help me any, okay? And then the second thing that I did then was to look at this guy right here, right? The 32. So in other words, I'm checking this out. I want to see which one of these, by the way, notice how I'm like keeping this as green, right? I'm looking at all 4 choices because, like, I mean, you know, you guys are like, you know, really, really good with multiplication table by now, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you the fastest way to do these questions based on the skill level of someone who's a typical 8th grader, right? And progress that way. So first we have the D squared, that's easy, right? And then we got the positive 32. Now you gotta check these out, right? So here we've got -4 times -8, that's positive 32. So I'm going to keep that in my mind, all right, that this could potentially be the answer. Negative times positive is a negative, not a positive. So this one's no good. This one, again, that's a negative, right? The two green numbers. And this one is also positive. So right off in this manner, I eliminated two choices already. All right? And then that leaves us with this last one. We're going to analyze what's in the middle. Now, think about it. -4, because what you want to do now is think, okay, all right, I need these two numbers here, right? Now, let me see if I can change it to blue. That doesn't help. That's not good. All right, I'll just draw a dot, right? I need to see if these two numbers in green, just now, what they add up to, right? Because the middle is what you add up to. So, -8 plus -4 is -12, so that looks good, right? Now, let's check the other one now. 4 plus 8 is positive 12. This is a negative, right? So that's no good. So there you go. That's it. All right? Okay? Now, if you want to try these next two on your own, I think you should try these next two on your own, because it's not like you don't know actually how to do this, even if you were to use FOIL. But I think you guys can all appreciate that if I were to do FOIL for all four choices, it'll probably take at least double the amount of time. Okay, so, all right, now that's it. Press pause right now. When you come back, I'll go over it with you, okay? So press pause right now. Okay, all right, and we're back. All right, so let's go back here. Now, right off, I looked at the four W's already. All the W's, they're all the same, so doesn't do anything for us, all right? Let's see. Now, the other thing you could do, by the way, I know what some of you are doing already. Some of you are already looking at this guy, at this, all right? So now, let's follow through with this first. Now, I need a positive 77 here when I multiply these numbers. So that's not it, all right? Because that comes out as negative. Looks good, this one, right? Negative times negative is a positive. Oh, man. All right, whoever wrote this test did a better job with this one. Because notice, right, how 7 and 11 is positive. 1 and 77, also positive. So now that means we got to look at the middle, all right? Because the middle never lies, okay? I don't know if that's 100% true. If it is, I'm going to trademark that term, so don't try to copy it, all right? I forgot what I just said already, the term. Anyways, now, here you can simply add, right? What could add up to give me 18, right? Think of it like that. Well, can -7 plus 11, oh, we don't need to look at that, we eliminated it already. Can -7 plus -11 gives you positive 18? No. So what's the answer? Well, hold on, we should keep checking actually. Now, can 7 plus 11 gives you positive 18? Yeah, that's it, there's our choice. All right, because this one adds up to 78, which is ludicrous, okay? All right. Now, this one, I included this one on purpose because the question now is, wait, what's happening here? This got two terms, so how would this apply, right? So here's a little tip from Mr. Ring, all right? Now, for this one, think of it like this, all right? And this is simply just a stepping stone for you guys, all right? This is not something, at some point, the more you do this, the better you get at it. Now, here, I'm missing the second term, right? I'm missing the term where there's just one letter, not squared, not all numbers. So I'm gonna skip a space and put the 49 here, or the -49 here. Now, that means I'm missing something in the middle. And I'll use the red marker to show you that, okay? What am I missing? I'm missing the term where it's supposed to say something like 0R, basically, right? 0R, not or. Right? Plus 0R, something like that. Right? Because 0R is 0, which means there's nothing, which means that we got back the original expression, right? Now, what am I trying to say here? Well then, look at this. First of all, you can look at this last choice here, right? Because now you want to ask yourself, right? Self, let me try to match the colors, okay? You can ask yourself, self, what times what Because if you know that, then you know you're looking for this number, right? Negative 49. So what times what gives me negative 49? Well, negative 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 7 is positive 49, so that's no good. 7 times 7, negative times negative is a positive, right? So this is no good either, right? Because I need a negative 49, right? Yeah, that's a positive, that's a negative. And this one gives you a negative, but that's not even right. 7 times 9 is 63, not 49. So that's it, actually. We just found our answer. Now, to help you guys a little bit with, a little bit more with this, here's what you could do then, right? Because the question is also this. What plus what? Let me change the color. What plus what would give me 0 in the middle? Right? Well, negative 7 plus 7 is 0. So we know that for sure that we were right. Because none of these, like 7 plus 7 is 14, that's not true, right? Because if you did this, you would have a 14R in the middle somewhere. Negative 7 plus negative 7, that's negative 14, not 0. And this one, of course, isn't. So that's that, okay? So I hope yeah, 15, not bad. So I hope you find that helpful, okay? Now, one last little, how do I call it? All right, a little bump in the road here would be this, right? Where you got, hold on, where you got this going on. That's a 3x. So now, actually, sometimes that's not a bad thing, okay? Because 3x times x is 3x squared, right? So you're just gonna start looking at your choices. Well, that's not it. Maybe that's not it, right? Because I'm looking for 3x squared, right? Maybe I should have written that down up there somewhere, right? Because this comes out as 3x squared, right? So that's not going to work. And then this one would maybe, okay? So here's what we're going to do now. We are going to take the next approach, which is by looking at these two guys. Right? Because at the end, these two still have to be multiplied by one another. So you have to see, okay, look, which one will give me this? Well, negative 5 times negative 10 is positive 50, right? So let me write that. Maybe I should have done that earlier. All right, like this, right? So this should be negative 50, all right? And so what does that mean? Right? I'm looking for negative 50 here. That's not negative 50, so I already knew. Well, I already knew that wasn't it. So I have to choose between these two, right? I meant positive 50. Oops. I meant positive. Now, this one, unfortunately, doesn't help either, okay? So, because that's a positive 50, that's a positive 50. So now we gotta look really carefully. And we're gonna actually do this. We're gonna actually do the inside-outside, all right? So watch this, right? Outside, what's that? Negative 30x, right? Inside, that's negative 5x. So I'm looking for something that's negative 35x. And there you have it. Okay, so let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, all right, so, yeah, that's it, okay? So I hope you find this this particular lesson today helpful, and so go ahead, do your Delta Math homework, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay, all right, bye-bye.
OMG, that was so good.